everyone, and welcome to the COD Pod by Minute Meta, and let me tell you, we have a show for you today. If you don't know, I think you might be living under a rock at this point, especially if you're watching this podcast. CODNext happened today, and there has been so much come out from Modern Warfare 2, from Warzone 2, and also a little bit of COD Mobile. We probably won't talk much about COD Mobile, but just a little brief letting you know, Verdansk is coming to COD Mobile, and they're bringing Warzone to COD Mobile, and that will also make it where it's kind of cross progression with Modern Warfare and Warzone. Not sure how that's going to work, but that's basically all you need to know about COD Mobile that happened today. But if you do not know, my name is Darth Edward. I am the host of the COD Pod, and I am joined by my co-host today, Mr. Brass Beyond Brass. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. A little overwhelmed.
Yeah, overwhelmed is an understatement. Harmony walked in. Harmony is my wife, for those of you who do not know who I am. And she walked in the house and she looked at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Today has been a long day between work and all the information that has happened with CODNext. It is just absolutely insane." Because there's been so much happening, I have a feeling we're going to be overlapping a lot with what we're talking about. We're going to try and start with Modern Warfare 2 and then probably work our way into Warzone 2. But things are going to overlap because these are now on the same engine 100% and everything just kind of plays together. I apologize if it overlaps. I'm going to try and break it up into slots on the YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube, but I can make no promises about that because we're going to be going all over the place because we have a lot of opinions about what happened today. So, let's just go into Modern Warfare 2. Brass, what are your thoughts? Just first overall thoughts, and we'll just go wherever it takes us.
I really don't have any complaints about what I've seen. There's a couple weird things, but honestly, it looks like a pretty decently polished game. It looks like it's ready to play. People had fun. There's some things to get used to. There's some, guns to figure out, stuff like that. How the perks work, how you get them, and then another one comes later. There's some stuff like that. But it doesn't seem overwhelmingly different to the point where it's gonna be hard to learn. They have some cool new modes. The weapon vault's kind of cool. I don't really like the third person. I mean, there's some good stuff and some not much bad really on multiplayer that I've seen. Just I'm just ready to play it at this point. I'm ready to get into it. Like I will grind camos. I'm just ready to do it.
100%. I'm sad I do not have a PS5. I wish I did because I would love to play this weekend, but I'm not going to be one of those people who goes out and buys a PS5 just to play a game for 2 days. I'm sorry, I'm not wasting $500. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people giving away PS5s after this weekend because I don't need it anymore. I can just give it away. I'm sorry. I love my community. I'm about to move. We're in the process of getting a house right now. I do not have $500 to just burn on a PlayStation for 2 days. I apologize. But I'm going to be watching some people who do. I'm wondering, with all the creators today who were in California for CODNext, how many of them are going to make it back to their house before tomorrow to play the beta? Or if they're, I'm wondering how that's going to work with everything. But I'm the same way. I have the same feelings about Modern Warfare 2. From what I watched, I'm excited about it. It looks like it's going to be a very good multiplayer. It seems like they've brought some of the older style Call of Duty back. Sliding, do not slide. If in my opinion, if I'm on keyboard and mouse, I honestly might unbind slide. Because sliding will get you killed in this game. Because if you slide, it's like a 1.5 second delay before you can do anything. Like, you come to a complete stop before you can even stand up. Sliding is chalked. Jumping, there's going to be a lot of bunny hopping, a lot of jumping, hard challenging around corners, things like that. Gunny is going to be very, very important. I mean, as it should be in the Call of Duty game, but even more where movement is not going to be so much the king. From some of the things that I've seen on Twitter in the past couple of weeks, apparently they have it built in already where if they want to turn slide canceling on, if enough people in the community want it, they can. It's just basically a switch they have to flip. That was one of the things that they really tried to do with the creation of this game was make it where they could change different aspects of the game easier. We're going to be talking about that more whenever we get to the Warzone part, because there are some things that we feel like are not good and we need to change. But there are, apparently they have built certain switches into the game where if they want certain things turned on, it's literally just pushing an update and all of a sudden it's on. So slide canceling, I'm ready to see people play without it and see how it goes. Oh, the
only
guns.
thing I'm gonna miss about slide canceling is that I like that little nervous tick of moving around the map with my hands, like to keep my hands fresh. That's one thing I loved about slide canceling. Like I don't really think it's necessary as a mechanic, but it kept my hands active, kept me feeling like fast paced, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In the game, I don't know. That's my only take on that.
It kept your trigger finger ready at all times because your hands are always moving, always ready, always active. That I understand that. That's another reason why, like, we make fun of YYing, but that's another reason why some people will just sit there and YY everywhere, is because it's the same concept. It's just keeping your hands ready and active for whatever movement they need to make.
It makes a lot of I just feel like it makes a difference. It makes it a little less like a running simulator.
Yep.
Because other than that, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I noticed about multiplayer, and just the game in general, honestly, visual recoil is stupid.
Yeah.
Like there is a lot of visual recoil in this game. And that's one of the things that honestly is even different from, they tried to make it where it feels like maybe a little bit older style COD. Like if you watched any of the actual gameplay from the multiplayer part, the UI with how things appear on the screen with like the words and different symbols and things like that, it really looks like that Modern Warfare 2 style. It's like the words, the font and all that stuff. It really kind of looks like it's from the the original Modern Warfare 2. So that they tried to give it an old COD style feel. But even those games didn't have very much recoil. And the visual recoil in this game is dumb. Like it's going to be insane. If there's ever a broken recoil gun, it's the only thing that's ever going to be run, because of how insane some of this visual recoil is. But what else did you notice from the multiplayer section?
Honestly, that's most what I had. I mean, I like some of the water mechanics, some stuff like that. A lot of everything else I have is just my list of W's and L's for Warzone.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I'm worried about. Because I mean, I like multiplayer, but I like Warzone. Like I play Warzone probably 75% of the time to what I play multiplayer. But also we haven't had a good multiplayer in a while, so maybe that'll change.
I'm hoping that
if they keep Warzone as it is now, I'm probably gonna play more multiplayer.
Oh, 100%. And as you can see, we're giving our hints about Warzone coming up. But a couple more things that I'm hoping. Well, one thing is just it happened. I saw it. The other thing I'm kind of hoping with some of the leaks that have been happening with the CDL, with them coming in when them maybe starting in like the middle of December, I'm hoping that means we're gonna get a ranked for modern multiplayer. Ranked for multiplayer very, very soon. Like it comes out at the end of October. I'm hoping maybe by the time Warzone releases, because it releases 2 weeks after it finally is official. Warzone is releasing November 16th. But hopefully, like sometime around that, we go ahead and get a ranked for multiplayer. That way, we can go ahead and see ranked, start playing it, because ranked is a more fun experience for me in multiplayer. I hate all of just some of the BS mechanics that are in multiplayer. Like sometimes there's broken shotguns, different things that are just make the game not fun. I'm an extremely competitive person, and so there's some things in multiplayer that just make the game not fun for me, and I love playing ranked just because it balances everything out, and you're playing a balanced game. So I'm hoping what they're gonna do is they're gonna let now the beta is going to be out this weekend for PS and then for PC and Xbox next week. Even though the beta is going to be pulled from us, they're going to be letting all of the CDL pros, they're going to be playing this game almost nonstop probably until it releases. Then once it releases, they're going to be doing a lot of scrims and small tourneys and things like that with some of the other content creators that play the game. And they'll narrow down pretty fast what they want GA'd and what they don't want GA'd for the ranked system and for the CDL system. So I'm hoping 2 to 3 weeks after release, we have a ranked system. The other thing that I noticed about multiplayer that I was having some deja vu watching Ground War. That's what it's called, right? Ground War. The extremely large style game, or large style multiplayer game. It felt like what Battlefield 2042 was supposed to be. Like, as I was watching it, because I was watching Iceman Isaac during this. I watched a lot of Iceman today. He's one of my favorite Call of Duty creators, and he was there. And it was also another like side tangent. The production quality for CODNext was not good, because something that you'll notice from just watching this, some of the people who stream for a job don't know how to stream. And Iceman's one of the people who actually knows how to fix all of his settings and things like that. So he had one of the actual clean stream to watch. A lot of the creators did not. Like, it was painful to watch some of these people try and stream on a setup that wasn't their home setup, that's been professionally set up and tailored for them. Basically what Activision did was they said, here's your system and here's a base setup. And if you want to change some stuff, change it and just leave the UI, like the on-screen UI, how it is. But if you want to add a mic or a camera or anything like that, it's up to you. And if you want to change any settings. And a lot of them didn't change settings. And they were just using a headset mic. And it was loud in there. And they didn't have any sort of gate on their mic or anything like that. And it was just very, very poor quality. But that's one reason why I was watching Iceman. Because Iceman did a fantastic job of getting his set up. But anyway, and when I was watching him play, sorry, I have ADHD. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. But
you have
watching,
80 of them?
Do what?
I said you have 80 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I was watching Ground War, and as someone who started playing Battlefield first and then switched to COD, like, it reminded me of playing Battlefield. It's like, this is what Battlefield 2042 was supposed to be. And it failed epically. And people, if you are a Battlefield person, just go play Ground War and just have fun. Literally just have fun playing the game. Because it is as close to a good Battlefield game as you're going to get. Especially now that there's like actual recoil in COD. Like there is in Battlefield, and just some of the different things that are happening during the game. Like, it looked really, really cool, and I will probably play some Ground War just for some of that nostalgia feeling of going back to it. But, yeah. You got anything else on multiplayer before we move on? Do you want to talk about how there's no ninja?
I got all the sauce for Warzone. I'm saving it up.
Yeah, we're gonna go off on Warzone. We are saying good things. Don't worry, we are gonna say some good things about Warzone, 100%. But
Both of them.
The other thing about the only other really complaint I guess I had about multiplayer was no ninja. Ninja should just be a perk in every single Call of Duty at this point. I don't know why they keep trying to remove it. They tried to remove it from Vanguard 2, and like a month after the game released, they added it because just it Call of Duty needs ninja, because for the multiplayer experience, it needs ninja. But, yeah. Alright, let's just go ahead and start talking about Warzone, because that's probably what a lot of y'all are here for anyway. And that's honestly kind of the big thing that happened today, because they talked a lot about Modern Warfare, and then barely talked about Warzone. But all anyone really wanted to see was, what's Warzone 2 going to be? Because a lot of the Modern Warfare stuff had already leaked. But I'll let you start on this one, Brass, because I know you've got thoughts.
Maybe maybe I should be a little maybe
Let's
I should
start.
start
Let's
off
start with the
optimistic.
positive. Let's start off with the positives.
Okay.
We're going to start off with the positives, 100%. Let's start off
Okay.
optimistic.
All right.
Because there actually
So
are a lot of good things about this game. I'm not gonna about Warzone, 100%.
I've went through everything, all my impressions from today, and I have a list of W's and L's. Honestly, they're pretty even, but I think the L's outweigh the W's.
The
I hate to say that.
This is the issue. The L's are massive L's. Like there's not just the this is could be kind of changed. The L's are bad. Like it's like changing the game bad. But
Yeah.
fire away.
And I don't.
Fire away.
And I do not like being a negative person about shit like this. I hate when I see people complain all the time, but it's got to be said. Like it just it's got to be said. So my first dub that I would say is the prox chat, but it also fits in the L category because something that I found out about it. I think the prox chat is cool for interaction with your enemies, but one of my friends was telling me that the prox chat also works that if you're too far away from your teammates, you can't hear them.
Doesn't work. Yep. That is something
That's
that I noticed as well. Yeah. So like it seemed like it was kind of spotty, and like that it may have also been so watching everything today with the prox chat, especially with the teammates part of it. It was hard to tell if it was prox chat that was messing up or if they were just having audio issues. Like I said a while ago with having everything set up. So, background on today if you didn't watch the event. Even though Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 are going to be on the same engine or in the same game when it releases, today they were actually running two different portions of the game. So, Modern Warfare 2 was its own game, and then Warzone was its own game. So they didn't have settings crossed. So everyone had their settings correct, ready to go for Modern Warfare 2. But whenever they switched over to Warzone, none of the settings transferred over because they were playing a completely different beta, whatever you want to call it. Make fun of me in the comments. I don't care. And they were playing it
in the comments.
But they were playing it on a completely different game. And so when people switched over, none of their settings were correct. None of the mic settings were working. And so it was hard to tell if it was prox chat that was messing up or if they just didn't have their mic setting correctly. But one thing I did know is when you died in game, your teammates could no longer hear you talking to them. That was something that everyone noticed pretty quickly. And that is a massive L for the prox chat or in-game chat because it's just gonna make everybody go to either Discord, Xbox chat, which why you would use Xbox chat now that Discord's on Xbox, I don't know, or PlayStation parties. And so just I don't understand why they tried to do that. But prox chat, I agree. Prox chat with people is going to be a massive, massive W, and it's going to be hilarious.
It's going to make for some good content.
Oh, it's going to make for some great content. And if you stream on TikTok, do not stream this game on TikTok without turning that off, because you'll get banned immediately. Like you just thought.
You thought hot mics were bad.
Yeah, you thought hot mics were bad. This is going to be way worse. But I am excited. That's going to be something fun. But. You have anything on the prox chat? I think it's gonna be hilarious. We're gonna see some
That's really my only complaint is that it seemed like you couldn't actually hear your teammates when they got past like 20-30 meters, which was confusing. And then you're hearing other people, and it's just I don't know.
But
I don't know. One thing about it is I think if you're in Discord and you can have push to talk on, and when you know you're close to people, you could really give off some false comms. With push to talk. That was my one thought from a strategy standpoint, because when I was watching Iceman when he was playing with Jowo, and they were going against Krim and somebody else, and they were giving comms, and Krim was like. He's like, oh, I'm out of armor, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, he's pushing me, he's on me. And then that was immediately when Iceman knew he was in the right building.
Yeah.
And it was a whole thing. I was like, dude, imagine giving just completely incorrect comms just to confuse people. Like I feel like that could be kind of fun.
So
With leaving it push to talk. I don't
mhm.
know.
Yeah, because I'm wondering how they're going to do that. So a lot of my aspect of this is not going to come so much from just a playing aspect. It's also going to come from a comp aspect because I watch a lot of competitive Warzone. And so I'm thinking about it from a comp perspective. Like, are they going to force them to have in-game chat on? Because that's something that Activision would do. When Activision hosts tournaments, they like to force certain things and create certain rules.
No.
Excuse
They
me.
would do something silly like
So
that.
I'm wondering, would Activision force everyone to have in-game chat on? But also, it's like most people are going to have it off for that reason, because you're not going to want to give away information and things like that during a comp tournament.
No.
Because that's, if you've ever watched 2v2s and things like that, they always mute their teammates in game. That way that they don't give things back and forth or comms back and forth to each other about it. If you 2v2s are basically when if you never watched comp Warzone, a 2v2 is when you have a team of two pair up with another team of two and they do a kill race inside of the same lobby. And then whichever pair gets the most kills at the end of the game wins. And so from that aspect of it, plus from just custom game aspect, prox comms are going to be very, very interesting from that side of things as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of Warzone comp scene. That is one thing that I'm happy about from today is the Warzone comp scene and competitive Warzone is going to benefit from today.
Yeah, I definitely think all the changes they made are gonna be reasonable for competitive players. I
100%.
don't think those guys aren't gonna struggle. The only thing I worry about is the like
Casual.
couch
Yeah.
60-inch TV dads.
Yeah.
Like what I really used to be. I still am to a point, but like I really used to freaking play on a giant flat screen and just sit there and chill. Like it was like my release coming home, and
Yep.
I still want those people to play because I want to get I want to be able to fight them.
Yeah.
I need
Plus,
those casuals to make me feel like I'm good at the game, right?
but it's also like the casuals are what carry this game, and so
Yes.
uh, let's stick with positives before we go into any negatives. Yeah, what's another positive you got?
Okay, yeah,
Well,
I have
we're gonna
the
come
water
back to that, I
mechanics.
promise. But we're trying to hit all the positives before we just absolutely rip
I do
some of the
not
things
like
that
being a
we.
negative Nelly, but there
Yeah,
are just some things I just can't not say. But so water mechanics, I felt like are a
love
huge W.
love the water mechanics. That's gonna be
I
cool.
saw some people use them, some people like them. I did not see the floating mines thing. I didn't get a chance to see that. I know
Mm-hmm.
I heard about it, and I didn't really see anybody use boats. But there's a bunch of areas that are just freaking water POIs, dude.
Yep.
Like that you can go under, like the cool different places only by water. I wonder how that's going to be. I wonder how the audio is going to be
That
for people
so
in the water.
That's one of the things that I'm also curious about because I saw Iceman in an in-game situation. A guy jumped off of the top of a building in front of Iceman into the water, and Iceman was sprinting about 15, 20 meters from him. And I don't know if the guy just didn't hear him or what was going on, but Ice had just an absolute laser beam on him because he had no idea that Ice was below him. And so I'm also wondering about audio, how the audio is going to work with water.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm really curious about. I liked it though. I think it's needed because I mean, just the how ridiculous some of the non-existing water mechanics, you know what I mean, were before. And the
Yes.
only thing that water did was make it where you ran super slow and couldn't attack sprint. Like that's all
Couldn't
it really
tack,
did.
or you couldn't slide,
Yeah, couldn't slide, couldn't
or
attack.
just
Like
killed you. Like you touched water, well, I'm dead.
yeah, okay, that's
But
the deadly water. Didn't
yeah,
know.
it's like yeah. You see,
Um,
the water's toxic. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. But yeah,
the thing I'm torn on was the ledge hanging and the
okay.
peeking. I thought it
So
was cool, but then I saw multiple times where people were trying to climb ladders, stuff like that, and they kept
yeah,
hanging onto the damn ledges.
yes. So that's one of the
Torn.
things I think they're gonna be able to fix. I think that it's going to be if they make it more like so. Apex has this. For those of you who have never played Apex before, Apex has this this type of mechanic. And it's actually very, very hard for it to happen in Apex because it you have to basically do it perfectly for it to be just a hanging part. But they want it to be more of a tactical thing that you do in a game. Now, the really big question is how many people are actually going to use it, because the only time it's really usable from like a hanging standpoint is if you have a pistol. If you don't have a pistol, there's no reason to really hang. You either want to climb up or climb down. The reason why I loved it is because I'm hoping it's going to make it where you can climb things higher, and it's going to be more of a climbing mechanic like Apex is. So you can literally just climb things that are above your head like you should be able to as a super soldier. But
yeah, you've been complaining about not being able to climb stuff in Warzone forever.
Like it's the stuff that's like, if I'm eye level with something or there's something slightly above my head, I should be able to climb it. Like on Apex, you can literally climb an entire story. Like as long as it's, I think it's your character height and a half is how high you can climb something on Apex. And then you're on Warzone like, welp, there's a waist high rock in front of me and I can't mantle it. But I'm going to accidentally mantle this ledge right here to my left, and it's going to get me killed in a game. Like, it's just, the climbing and mantling mechanic has been broken since the beginning of Warzone. And I'm hoping that's going to be something that fixes it, at least from a climbing aspect, to where you're going to be able to actually climb some things more.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I did see what you were talking about with the ledges being next to ladders and people trying to jump up ladders and it accidentally grabbing onto the ledge, and then the game kind of like bugging a little bit because it couldn't decide if it wanted to climb the ladder or hang on the ledge.
I saw Iceman's face. He was getting so annoyed with it when it kept happening to him on one.
Yeah.
He's like, you could tell he wanted to be like, what the fuck? Like, his face was not happy about it. So the next thing I have is I like the visual recoil.
Okay.
I like the guns seem a little harder to use. I
don't disagree.
I miss having
recoil?
It being a little bit harder.
You miss having recoil?
Like there's recoil in some of our guns. Like even the UGM, has that initial recoil that we're using now. That's if once you learn how to control that after the first 6 shots, you have none.
Yeah.
And there's some there's some guns that are like the Nikita, but it's like strongly vertical recoil. You can learn to control that, but like there's hardly any visual on the Vanguard guns. I think that's really what makes them easy for people to use.
Yep.
But it also makes them brainless, brainless.
Absolutely brainless.
Just
like frying people off of headies at 200 meters, brainless.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not going to be doing that with these type of guns. And
yeah,
I think that's also going to bring back not the sniper meta, but it's going to make snipers more important again, which I'm going to love. I love sniping. Sniping is one of my favorite things in Call of Duty. And I'm hoping that brings back some of the sniper meta / important use of snipers for the game.
Yeah.
But
so I did like that. The next thing, I do not mean to go negative because this is a positive and a negative. DMZ available at launch. Super surprised by that. I thought that was going to be a mid-year thing next year to freshen it up because we're having to go through this different cycle.
It's not available at launch. DMZ is going to be it's going to be released after Warzone.
That's not what they said.
I thought that's.
No, I think you may have misheard. I'm almost like I would probably bet some money on. They said DMZ would be available at launch with Warzone. So at November 16th. Which is kind of cool, but the thing I don't like about it is I think that they focus on DMZ a lot.
Oh yeah, they 100% do.
I think that it was a huge focus, and I think that's some of the negatives that we're seeing in the main mode that we're not liking is things that are going to make it better for DMZ. Looting mechanics, all that stuff. I think that those things are catered to DMZ. Which is I think is going to make that mode successful. Are you fact checking me? Because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm going to the actual. They talked about it during the actual breakouts.
Yeah, yep. Here you go. Call of Duty. DMZ is a new extraction mode that drops alongside Warzone 2 at launch.
At launch, okay, cool.
From Call.
Cool, awesome.
Yep,
I must
from the
have
Call of Duty
just
Twitter.
I must have just misheard that, because I remember when they were talking about DMZ at the same time they were talking about Warzone, and I was in the middle of like typing 15,000 tweets at that point, and I thought I heard them say that they were going to be it may be some other game mode that they're releasing later. That's maybe a multiplayer thing. I'm not sure. There's something releasing after Warzone. I can't remember what it is, but there's something coming later in the year, and so
Warzone. Well, not Warzone Mobile. That's next year.
yeah, no, it's not Warzone Mobile. They may have been talking about, because they were talking about all the game modes going. Oh, they were talking about ranked. They're talking about Warzone ranked. So they gave like a list of like 3 or 4 different things that they're working on in Warzone that's not coming at Warzone launch. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah,
yes.
like the resurgence.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I remember that.
Yep, and so they were talking about things that are going to be coming later that are not quite ready yet. And Warzone, they did confirm Warzone ranked, basically is what they said, but
Yeah,
it's
they pretty
not.
much did. Yeah.
It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
That's a massive W. Warzone ranked is a massive W whenever it releases.
The multiple circles, I think, is a huge win.
Massive W. I love that.
I think it makes for a more diverse end game.
Mm-hmm.
Splitting people up instead of everybody converging on one area. There's going to be a lot of third party situations in that when everybody's having to close in and holds that you can't get away from, where in that mode maybe if you're stuck somewhere you can rotate to another circle quickly, which one thing also, speaking on rotations, I saw nothing about redeploy balloons, and
I didn't see anything either.
that makes me really sad because I have absolutely loved free deploy balloons since they came to Warzone. I think they're a huge win. I think they really make the game more fun and fast paced, but also it doesn't seem like this game's gonna be fast paced. I didn't say it wouldn't be fun. Okay, I almost did, but
Yeah. So,
but I just that's one thing that I was like a little bummed about.
So I've got something pulled up on the screen right now from Mr. Goad. This is something that was in the game that he noticed that I missed. So whenever it goes into the multi-circle, the top is how many people who are left in the game. The bottom is how many people are left in your circle. So when you are in your circle, you know how many teams are left in your circle, or if you're just by yourself, or things like that. So this was cool. I did like that. This is a really cool additive that they're doing. That you're going to be able to actually see how many teams are available in your circle plus left in the entire game. So that is
neat.
That is awesome. That. Love that. Couple other things just a quick point out. Field of view, FOV, console players, congratulations, you're going to get FOV. I'm going to leave it at that because I have some rude things to say about that, but not that I don't want y'all to have it. Trust me, I want y'all to have it so y'all will shut up. But yeah, congratulations, you are going to be getting FOV just like everyone else. This is literally on the Call of Duty blog /guide/settings/options/console page. Like it is, they have said it's going to be in the game. So congratulations, you have FOV.
Plenty of slashes there.
Yes.
My opinion on FOV is I think it'll help people that play on a monitor. I think it'll hurt people that play on a TV.
Yes. 100% agree.
The end. Like, I think it's cool, but it's really not going to help people that are playing on a giant TV. I think the 80 FOV may have actually been helpful for them. A little less overwhelming, be able to see your target a little better. I don't know. So I think that diving is a kind of unique mechanic, and I think that once people learn how to do that diving mechanic, they're going to be able to abuse it, and you're going to have to use that going into gunfights.
Yep.
I'm also torn on that because it's going to be more commonplace. It's going to be like drop shotting, but everybody does it.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know how the guns are working. I don't know how the headshot multipliers are working, etc. But I think that you're going to hit a lot more headshots when people are diving.
Yep.
So I don't really know how it's going to work out. I'm interested to see,
what
but
happens.
yeah, I don't know.
So, one thing I was thinking about this earlier, and I was listening. Iceman explained it. Whenever to sprint and slide, if you're on controller, you tap B or square. Is it square? Triangle? I don't know. I play with the freaking PlayStation controller, but none of
I
them
play an
have
Xbox controller,
none
so
of them have actual signals on it. I just know what the buttons are. The one right here on the right hand side, on the far right hand side, the one that you use to freaking slide, or if you're like me, your back button. You press it to slide, and you hold it to dive. I'm hoping that they give us an option in the settings to where we
To
can
tap to dive?
flip that to tap to dive, unless they put slide canceling back in. If they don't put slide canceling back in, I have a feeling you're going to be diving a whole lot more than you're sliding. So I'm hoping that they give us a way to tap to dive instead of slide, or instead of hold to dive. Hoping they make that a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the diving aspect is going to be kind of crazy. Yeah. What's next? On your
So
list.
the last thing I have on the positives is I think that as a real BR, as a traditional BR, this
Trying to stay
is
positive
a
here.
better BR.
Yeah.
This is a
So
better BR.
we're just gonna go into everything right now. So because yes, they have made this a traditional BR. This is no longer a Call of Duty BR. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. Not trying to be negative, telling you the facts of what we saw today from all the players playing the game. This is no longer a Call of Duty BR. This is a BR made by Call of Duty. They made this very, very traditional style of BR with the way that everything goes. Now, going into this, let's talk about the number one thing that everyone cares about. Loadouts. Today, during the actual CODNext event, I don't think the way you get your loadout guns, which actually you don't get a loadout anymore, you can just get your guns, I don't think it was working. Because I never saw anyone do it, and
Never saw a single person get their gun.
yeah, literally not a single person. I watched True Game Data. Tony, he also talked about it. He was looking for it because he made a video on it, and he was looking for it so he could show, and he never saw anyone actually do it. And I think JGod also mentioned it. I don't think it was working the way it's supposed to be working in game today. And so we didn't actually see
I noticed
it
at
happen.
one point, Iceman had a thing that said after they completed the stronghold, it said get your free weapon,
Yes.
custom weapon, and he's like, okay, and he goes there, and it was like red, like it wouldn't let him do it.
Yes.
So he was confused. He tried to do something else like 3 times. He kept going back trying to get it. He's like, he just gave
Okay.
up. Like he's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what's happening.
So
But
let's explain how you get your custom gun for Warzone. So there's two different ways to do it. One, you can have the money and you can go to a buy station and buy one weapon. If you have the money, you can buy two, but you can only buy one weapon at a time. You cannot buy your entire quote unquote loadout. So you can go, and they are expensive compared to what we're thinking in our brain. Like in Warzone, in big map Warzone, a loadout is $10,000, and you get your loadout, and you throw it, and everybody on your team can get it. You can buy your gun for yourself, and they were anywhere from like $6,000 to $14,000 for one gun. Now, we don't know the economy on the game yet. We don't know how much money is going to be just out there. From what I was watching today, it's not just the most... There's not a lot of it. Like, there's definitely some, but I hardly ever saw anyone with more than $6,000 or $8,000. So...
I noticed there were $20 increments in places, and I was like, what?
There's like $1 increments in places. Like I saw at one
Was there
point,
really?
like a guy had like something 99, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, I was a little confused by that.
And the money system is going to get more complicated, and that's okay. So just to kind of the overarching theme of the next probably 20 minutes of what we're going to talk about, everything is more complicated. That's just the overarching theme of what we saw today. So buying your weapon, you can buy one weapon for yourself, and then you can buy your other one if you have enough money, or you can go to this. What is it like? What's the stronghold? Yeah, that's what's actually called, a stronghold. You go and kill some freaking AI. Too many AI on the map. Another thing. You can go kill some AI and you take over the stronghold, and then you don't even get your loadout gun from there. You then have to go to a buy station and claim your free loadout weapon. And so it's just, I'm glad they kept it in the game where you can get your custom gun, because that's what makes Warzone Warzone. I'm sorry. Loadouts are the reason why Warzone existed the way that it did. And so if they had completely removed it, the game's chalked completely. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. If they removed the aspect of being able to use a custom weapon completely from the game of Warzone, the game would be completely chalked. It would no longer be Warzone as we know it. You might as well call it Blackout 2. I think you should just call it Blackout 2 anyway. I don't think this is Warzone 2. I think this is more.
I was waiting for that take.
This is Blackout with a little bit of Warzone thrown in it. This is not Warzone with a little bit of Blackout thrown in it. Like, you're basically playing Blackout on a Warzone map with a little bit of Warzone in it. That's the entire game. And so, moving on from the custom weapons, do you have anything to say about custom weapons? I know you probably got a take on this as well. Did I hit it enough?
I don't like it. I just, in general, I don't like it. I think that that's part of the thing that makes people comfortable, and I'm just going to keep touching back on the casual player.
Yeah.
I think this helps the casual player. I mean, it does help the competitive player that's used to their guns and everything, but I mean, even me, I play quite a bit, but I mean, I don't play, as much as, some people that do this for a living,
Mm-hmm.
and I tend to do better when I have a certain gun that I get used to using. I use it consistently and I work on gameplay instead of gunplay. But now I'm gonna have to be trying my best to get stuff off the ground. I don't know how viable it's gonna be to get, the guns that I like and have tested. And that's one of the things I like about the game is I like being able to find out what's the best and use the best thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm nerdy with that stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
But it's just
That's what this whole YouTube channel was originally built on. Now we've gone to more expansive COD things. But that's the whole reason this channel was originally built, is because we wanted to tell you the best thing that you can use. It's still what we're gonna do, 100%. That's still what we are going to do. Is if there's a meta, we're going to tell you the meta. That's where it's going to go. That's why this channel is called Minute Metas. But we've since expanded a little bit more to Call of Duty as a whole, not just specifically best loadout. But continue along that aspect of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. No, you're good. I mean that's been bothering me, just trying to think of how that's gonna. I mean, because there are people who like weird stuff and they use weird stuff, and that's just what they do. And now they're gonna be stuck with using the same garbage that we're all using off the ground. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't. I mean,
Go ahead.
I think that would be good for the DMZ mode. I think it fits.
Yep.
I think it fits what they're trying to do with the DMZ mode. I think that, stuff like that. I mean, that's where I think that should live. That's where I think, I don't, well, yeah, it's my next thing anyway. That's where I think this freaking looting system should live.
Yes.
Is in the DMZ mode. Like, that's, I don't know. That's just where I think that it all needs to go. I think that they focus a lot on the DMZ mode, and I'm excited about the DMZ mode. I'm excited to play it, but it's not. There's a lot of things that work for that, but I don't think they work for Warzone.
This is So I was gonna wait till the end of the podcast to kind of do like an overall thing, but my overall take on Warzone 2 and the map and the game and the mechanics and everything involved with it. It was built for DMZ, and then they just threw Warzone in with it. It wasn't built for Warzone and then transferred into DMZ. With how the looting works, with how the guns work, with everything involved with it, I think they built the entire system for the DMZ mode. And then let's slap a couple things of Warzone in with it and call it Warzone.
Yeah.
Like
I think the DMZ mode is going to be very successful just from what I saw today.
I think the DMZ mode is going to be amazing. Just based off of, okay, take out what the Warzone stuff from the game, take out the contracts, take out the buy stations, and take out the just the buy station, because then you can also, you also can't get your custom weapon because you don't have a buy station. Take out contracts, take out buy stations, and take out the closing zone, and then throw the DMZ stuff in with it, and you now have a fantastic DMZ mode. I 100% agree.
Which I think may have been their focus.
Yep.
And it's what it feels like. The current looting, I just hate it. I don't like the looting system. I mean, I haven't played it, but just watching it.
Watching it.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons I don't like playing Apex, is because, I mean, I could do it, I could adjust to it, but I just play it so casually that I don't know why I don't like that stuff. I just it doesn't.
So
I don't know.
When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like Apex looting system. But the more I watched, the more I realized just how chalked this looting system is. Because, so, in Apex, there's still ground loot. Like, there is still guns all over the ground, which there is in Warzone. There's still guns on the ground. But in the boxes, or pills as they're known in Apex, when you open the pills, all the loot is still there for you to see. You don't have to click into a pill or a box to see what loot is available. And at least like on the ground loot stuff. So now with all the ground loot being in boxes that you have to click on, that just slows the game down so much, because now you have to, I don't know if there's anything in this box or not because I can't see. I have to stop what I'm doing, click into the box, and see if there's anything in there. Oh, nope, there's not anything in there. Click out, continue what I'm doing. Oh, there's another box over here 25 meters away. Go to the box, click on it, go through. Okay. In Apex, the way that the boxes work, so there's pills in Apex, which is what you open the same way you think of a box in Warzone, and all of your loot appears that you can just scan, grab, and keep going. Then there are what's known as death boxes in Apex, to where whenever you kill someone, instead of their loot spilling all over the ground, then there's all their loot in the boxes. That's where that loot comes from, and I think that works very well because there's only going to be a few of them that you go into a game. Because it's whenever you kill someone, you can check, or if whenever you are running up on someone who is already in a fight, you can check really quickly, but there's not going to be a lot of them. With the ground loot in Warzone, you may open 20 boxes in the first 5 minutes of the game. And if you have to stop and kind of scroll through to see what you're clicking, it's going to be insane. And I feel even worse for controller players in this situation. Because me being a hybrid player playing both controller and keyboard and mouse, I'm going to play a lot more keyboard and mouse on this game just because of the looting aspect. Because the looting aspect is going to be way quicker with keyboard and mouse than it is with controller. Like, it's going to be a challenge on controller to loot. And so I don't like the looting. The looting is not good. Plus the fact that they've now laid everything flat on the ground and everything is just very gray. Everything is like gray and brown. All the guns, the shields, the armor pouches that you can pick up to give you 3 armor plates because you don't start with 3 armor plates. You start with 2, which is another thing that they took from Blackout, but they also kind of took from Apex. But the way Apex does it, you can actually earn another slot of shield. If you get enough damage on people, you can earn more shield. In Warzone, you don't. You actually have to find it and loot it. Or in Warzone 2, you have to find it and loot it. And everything is just gray. And so it's hard to tell a difference on the ground what everything is. But, yeah, I don't know. Looting, the looting aspect of it, and then the fact that you can't actually get your gun from a loadout is... It's negative. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main thing that I really just wasn't a fan of. I do also hate the Gulag. The Gulag was confusing. I don't mind the gunfight style idea. When I first heard that, I was like,
this
"That's
is gonna be cool. Yeah, this is gonna be really cool. Yeah,
that's gonna be pretty neat." And then I realized that you can fight your teammate. You can kill somebody that's on your squad.
in the Gulag.
That's in the Gulag.
Yep.
And
Because it just randomly pairs you up.
That is where I just think that's ridiculous.
Like the first time I watched it, I was watching Bread, and he was playing with T-Dog in their first game. And they somehow actually managed to, when they died and end up in the Gulag, they were on the same team together in the Gulag, which is what I think should happen if you're in the Gulag with your teammate. Like, it should automatically just pair y'all up and y'all fight the people, and then y'all both get back and neither one of you get back. But then I was watching it later, like you were saying, and 2 people who were on the same squad ended up fighting each other in the Gulag. And so you're knocking one of your teammates out, and that just thinking about it from a comp standpoint, if you're doing a 2v2 or a custom, it doesn't matter, and you're fighting your teammate in the Gulag, what do you do? Like, it's just like, congratulations, one of us is not making it back in and we're chalked.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big thing for me that I was like, wait, what? Like, one more time. I'm gonna need to understand this one more time.
Plus, there's AI
Also,
in the Gulag.
the AI in the Gulag, I didn't like the AI in the rest of it, but I really, really didn't like it in the Gulag.
Yeah.
It was super confusing, and I saw several people die because they started to shoot the AI, and they're like, wait,
That's not a
what is
person?
happening here?
Yeah.
Also, why is there looting in the Gulag?
Yeah, I know.
Why is looting
You start
in the
off with your
Gulag?
fist in the Gulag, and you have to loot all of your guns and ammo and tacticals and everything in the Gulag. It's just that, and then
I did not get that.
And
even,
then
I did not understand that even the smallest amount.
No, like it's not great. That is, which they did say at the beginning that was something they were trying. They were saying they can switch Gulag back to how it was. They said this is something. Yes, when they were introducing Warzone, they did say that we're trying a Gulag today, and we're going to get the feedback on it and see what it's like. That is one of the things that they were changing. That they have the ability to change. So we were talking about earlier, they have like switches they can flip. They made it very easy where they can turn things on. I'm assuming the Gulag is one of them. I'm also assuming if they didn't build a loadout switch into the game, excuse my fucking language, they're dumbasses if they did not build a switch into the game to turn loadouts on. Because people are gonna hate that. Like, that is something I hope they built a switch into the game to turn that back on. Because I think it's the same goddamn reason why Swag got a Raven Software tattooed on his ass. Because they tried the whole thing with not doing loadouts, and the game was horrible. Everyone hated it. It made the game boring to watch. It made the game boring to play. Like, did they not learn in that experiment that Warzone as a Call of Duty game does not work without loadout? Sorry for the yelling.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was like, damn, Todd's getting passionate here.
Like, that's the whole reason. He got a tattoo on his ass so they could get it back, so they could get loadouts back. Like, it's just, I don't understand. That is,
I,
I don't understand the logic of it. I don't. I don't understand the logic of it from a gameplay standpoint. I don't understand the logic of it from a money-making standpoint. So, for those of you who don't know, Warzone's a free game. The way that they make money is by selling blueprints. That is how they made money. People who didn't buy multiplayer but played Warzone, you could still buy the blueprints and use them in Warzone. And I understand you can still get your custom guns, but you're not going to get them nearly as often as you were. And that takes away the incentive to buy the blueprints. It's how you make money as a company.
100%.
Sorry, I'm very passionate about today. I'm very passionate about today.
No, I don't really understand that at all. I don't understand a bunch of the things they did. I don't like to be negative, but I'm just surprised.
It's just
Um,
it's what I was
I
saying
mean,
at the
I'm
beginning.
hoping because it was the alpha that they
Yes.
were just like I hope they're just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah.
I hope that there's still plenty of room to change. The map was beautiful. There's a bunch of
Map was
things that
amazing.
rocked about it. The
Yes.
map looked fun. Like it looked like like you said, it looked like it played like Verdansk kind of.
Yes.
Like there's a bunch of stuff that I think was good, and then there was the rest.
Yeah. And so like I was
Um,
talking about with the switches, what I'm worried about with the whole looting aspect of it, I don't think that's a switch they can just flip. I think that's
yeah,
built into the base of the game. And that's what worries me about the looting aspect of the game. It's like, yes, I think the loadout part of it is a switch they can flip. Oh, congratulations, we have loadouts now. Just continue about on how the original Warzone played with the loadout aspect of it. But the looting aspect of it, I'm really worried that that's built into the ground of the game, and it's not something that can just be changed.
yeah, yeah. I'm also a little worried about that, but I guess we'll see what comes of it. I don't feel like casual players are gonna like this. I think it's gonna have a very high skill gap. I think that it's gonna be very good for people who are competitive. I think a full squad of, you know, Warzone pros, quote unquote, will absolutely just run through and give nobody a chance in this game. Like
Yeah.
I I mean, because once they get it down, they're gonna have it down because this is
Yep.
what they do. But the normal dudes aren't gonna have it down.
No.
It's gonna be much more complicated. You're gonna have good comps. Imagine loading into a game like this with randoms and somebody not
Oh
having a
my! I
mic,
can't
dude.
even imagine. Like
Like,
look, I was
mm,
watching them today try and play without mics. Like professional FPS players, trying to watch them
mhm,
play with other professional FPS players, and some of them, because of all the issues that they were having with settings, not having mics, it was chalked. I can't even imagine playing it with a random, not knowing if the person's even good at the game or not.
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know.
But this is I've got something pulled up from Tom Henderson. This is kind of where like this is the tweet that made me kind of realize like, oh, this is what happened. So he says, I'll wait until I'll play myself to give the final opinion, but Warzone 2 does not look good at all. Everything from the AI, which we talked about, we'll talk about that after this. Everything from the AI to the map design map design with the super tall bushes just screams that this map was built for DMZ and a more tactical playstyle over a BR. Again, I think it's actually going to be a really good BR map. From this, I'm saying a Call of Duty BR, not a BR made by Call of Duty. Like this is not going to have a Call of Duty feel to it, I don't think. But yeah, that's kind of where we got that idea from. Tom Henderson is a fantastic source for anything gaming. He's one of the guys who breaks all sorts of news across the gaming sphere, not just Call of Duty. And so he was one of the ones who originally said that Warzone 2 was going to be built around DMZ. like 9-10 months ago, and he is seeing that now come to fruition, and it doesn't look like it's going to be great. But also, there's way too much AI in this game. It's not even a debatable really question at this point. Like, I'm watching people throw up UAVs. And the good thing about the UAVs is when you throw a UAV up, it does tell you which person is an AI and which person is a real person. But when you're throwing up a UAV and there's 25 AI within a 100-meter span of you and 2 real people, that is horrid and terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like they would throw it up and it's like, whoa, okay. Like, it just made you realize how much AI is in the game. You about to have to go?
Yeah, I got to wrap this up.
I bet. Alrighty, we've talked and ranted a lot. Y'all make sure you let us know in the comments what y'all think. Y'all can find me on Twitter at Darth Edward. You can find us both on Twitter at the Minute Meta Twitter. All this will be linked down in the description on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Spotify, just search us both up on Twitter. Let us know what you think. Any closing thoughts before we hop?
I just hope there's change.
Yep.
That's all. Also excited to play Modern Warfare 2 beta next weekend. So
yes, and
I hope there's change in the Warzone side of it.
That's my closing thoughts to this entire experience of watching today are, I think they're trying to force the casual community back to multiplayer. That's the only reason I can think of this. The only reason of why I can think of some of the changes that they made is they're only wanting the people who truly love BRs to play Warzone, and they're wanting some of the casual community to come back to multiplayer itself and stay in multiplayer. But alrighty, that is a lot from what happened today. We hope y'all enjoyed it. Let us know what you think. Please drop a like and subscribe so you can find your way back here. We will see y'all probably this weekend after we see some more beta. I always say the word wrong. It's fine. Y'all have a good day. Y'all slay out and aim for greatness.